Okay, we can start with Rob. First question for Rob. We'll start here on the back left.
Rob, that double steal in the first, did that order come from the dugout, or did Bryce and Harp kind of do that themselves?
No, it was, we put the sign on, but they executed it perfectly. Stoddard pulled up at the right time, and Harp got a really good break.
Did the scouting report say on Ketel Marte's arm, and did that kind of inform that decision?
No, we just wanted to put pressure on him, see if we could add on a run. There was two out there at the time, and they got to make two good throws, and I think the catcher's throw is a little bit low, and so it causes a little bit of a rush for the second baseman, so it worked out.
What did you think of Wheeler's fastball today?
Really good. All his stuff was good. Breaking ball, the slurve, curveball. The two-seam was fantastic. I thought he did a great job. He gave us exactly what we needed with where our pen was at. So.
A few more for Rob. In the back on the right.
Rob, they were able to reach base quite a bit, but you were able to limit the damage each inning. How did you like the way the pitchers controlled the situation once one got on?
Yeah, I thought they were really good, and Wills holds runners really well, which is it shuts down the running game a little bit. But our pitchers tonight, all of them for the most part, and I think all of them, first pitch strikes, got ahead, and then attacked. 2 walks on the night. Wills walks Carroll to start the game off, but then nothing after that, and Saranthony had the 2-out walk in the ninth. So I thought they were really good.
Sorry, Rob. Marcus in the front.
I don't know how detailed you got into the double steal, but what was the genesis? What was the direction? I mean, was it Bryce go if the pitcher doesn't cut it off, or you don't see a pump fake? Is it a total read by Bryce? Exactly.
Yeah.
Why did you try it, and how does it work?
Well, just because there was 2 out. First inning, wanted to add on a run if we could, put a little pressure on him. And so if Stott breaks, and if the ball goes through, he stops, and Harp breaks. If they pump fake, then just Stott just walks into second base.
If the throw's better and he gets tagged out, that's on you again. I mean,
absolutely.
What does it say about, I guess, you and your team's willingness to sort of go for it?
Well, from the start of the playoffs, that was sort of the message to everybody, was that let's put pressure on people, and that doesn't mean the double steals. It doesn't mean it also means getting down the line, putting pressure on people on ground balls, and Harp did it tonight on the ground ball to second base, putting pressure on the outfield, thinking about going first to third, good turns, forcing them to maybe make some mistakes.
It's Bryce Harper, the first steal of home in franchise history. He hits a ball another 450 feet, and you guys win a game you have to win.
Makes a diving play. Beats out a ground ball. Have you been around a guy, and I know you've been around a lot of guys, have you been around a guy who absorbs the moment, amplifies the moment the way that he does? I'll tell you, he's as good as they get. He might be the best I've been around. Just watching him on a daily basis and looking at his playoff numbers since he's been here anyway, it's just astounding.
Take one more, and then we'll go to Barry.
I'm sorry. You guys are going back now to a place you haven't lost at yet this year. I guess how big was tonight, knowing that you've got Nola, and you've got the home field, and you've got a day off to get your bullpen back, and it seems like we've talked a lot about momentum. You've got that momentum.
Yeah, it's huge. Winning a game here is huge. It really is, and especially how we lost the first 2 here. And it just shows the toughness of our club, the resiliency of our club, and because they're not going to quit. They're not. And so this thing's not over. We got to show up on Monday and put the pedal down and get after this thing and play good baseball. We really played well tonight. I thought our defense was outstanding. Talked about the Bryce dive, Stoddard, kind of a slide play to his backhand. Rojas goes and gets a ball into right center that a lot of guys don't get to. So, I thought we played a complete game tonight.
Barry.
Rob, back to the steal. In your scouting, did you know that these guys practice this and they've done it before with the cutoff and all that?
Yeah, they have the return play. That's what we call it. But,
right.
Yeah, we knew it, but we're going to take a shot.
Yeah, but I mean, basically, you baited him into it.
Yeah, and
And so, I mean, to me, everything has to go perfect to get the play at the plate.
yeah,
So,
yeah, it does, and a lot of it has to do with their positioning on
Right.
the infield and things like that.
so basically, it was a good move on your part.
Well, it worked out.
Yeah.
If it didn't,
Well,
Again.
but chances were pretty good it
Yeah.
was going to. I think I looked at, I've seen them do it here in the same situation, and the same thing happened.
yeah.
So,
Any last ones for Rob? All right, Rob, thank you. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
back in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Wheeler and then Harper. Really. Okay, we'll get started with Zack Wheeler. First question for Zack. Start with David here on the middle.
How much do you allow circumstances to kind of enter your mind when you're heading into a start like this? I mean, you guys had lost 2 straight games, and I mean, this is historically, the math says it's a huge swing game for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a thought. As a pitcher, it's kind of on you, a lot of it. So, you're definitely thinking about it, coming into the game. And I don't know. I know the bullpen was taxed a little bit, so I needed to go deep. And, obviously I wanted that to be quality innings. So I was able to do that, go deep into the game, save the bullpen a little bit, and, get out of there with a lead.
Anthony?
Knowing that, to what extent do you at all change what you're doing, knowing that, they need you to go at least 6, maybe 7?
You don't try to change it up too much just because I always try to do that. I always try to go deep. But, in a game like this, you kind of get the feel for it early on. And then, they're aggressive. So I try to use that to my advantage after the first few innings to just get quick outs. And, I know my pitch count was up a little bit early on. So I was just trying to limit that. The rest of the games, get quick outs and make, pitches where I needed to be able to do that.
Separately, as you take a step back or people anyway, take a step back and look at your body of postseason work over the past 2 years, your name starts to get tossed around with some of the all-time greats. So what do you make of that?
It's cool. It's special. Take pride in it. And, there's been a lot of great pitchers that pitch in the postseason. A bunch of them probably have more innings and body of work than I do, but, I try to do the best I can with what I have. And, it's special to be named with a lot of those guys. So, I don't know, it's cool, special.
The back on the right.
Zack, when a runner was on, just how did you feel like you contained those situations well and limiting any damage getting done?
Yeah, coming into the game, coming into the series, we all know they're fast, they're speedy, and they like to take bases. So, we all talked about it before the series, and a guy gets on, you got to be careful with him. You got to change up your looks, change up your times to home, maybe do something a little different here and there. But don't get outside of yourself at the same time. Don't try to, slide step maybe when you normally don't or something like that. But because you want to make your good quality pitches at the same time.
To follow up on what you're saying, as a pitcher of your caliber, is there a special level of focus that you unlock in those kinds of situations?
Certain guys, Corbin on first, obviously you don't pay more attention to him than, maybe somebody else. But, that's learning over the years what you have to do to limit base runners getting the second. Once they're in second, they're usually in scoring position, right? So, especially with somebody with, his speed or other guys on that team. But, so you just try to limit them getting the second base by, changing up your looks, like I said.
The left side in the back.
What made the 4-seam such a good pitch for you tonight?
I was able to locate it. The shape of it wasn't always the same. I was pulling some, which worked to my advantage a couple of times. And then some were, kind of running arm side. So, I think people kind of go to effectively wild. I wasn't really wild, but it wasn't always doing the same thing. So I think that played to my advantage.
The last one's for Zack. Back to David.
You had a couple stretches where 2 outs on 2 pitches, 2 outs on 6 pitches.
Yeah.
How big were those? Just to kind of keep that. Obviously, you can't really plan on that, I don't
Yeah.
think. But to keep your pitch count down and give you a chance at the 7th.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of going back to what we talked about was, trying to, after those first couple innings, getting it, figured out what their game plan is, that type of stuff, to just go right after them. I know they're going to be aggressive. I know they're going to be swinging. They're probably looking for a fastball, but I'm also going to throw the fastball and just try to command it the best I can. When you get ahead of guys, put them away quick. But, the defense, it's probably the best they played behind me all year, and it was really cool to watch them do their thing out there. Stott, Hart made a good play. Castellanos cutting the ball off, didn't let it get to the wall. Little stuff sometimes makes a difference for us. Makes our job a lot easier. Keeping going first instead of letting them get the second. So, I appreciate that, and they made my job a lot easier tonight.
And then what was the conversation, if any, before that 7th inning? Jose was warming up. You were at, 92, 93 pitches, I think?
Topper just asked if I was good, and I said, yeah, I felt great. So I was going right back out there.
And then one last one. Every time you kind of ran into a little bit of adversity, you responded, even right in that 7th inning.
Yeah.
Is that something you pride yourself on?
For sure. Like I said, you just don't try to let them get the second. Don't let them get it easy for them. And, the first inning, the guy was on, first and third. And, that's really when you got to bear down. You can't let them get, momentum at home. The crowd will get back into it. You try to shut that down as best as you can and let your guys get the momentum.
We'll finish up with Barry.
Zack, considering last year going into the World Series, you could have a rematch against the Astros again. It would be the first time that's happened with 2 teams playing each other since like the 70s. What did you take out of that? And I want to go too far ahead, but how much better you think this team is and how better prepared it is to go to the next round than it was last year?
Yeah, like you said, we can't think ahead too much, but if we were to make it there and they make it there, it's pretty cool. It's really hard to do, making it to the World Series. So 2 teams to make it there back to back would be pretty awesome. But I think we got a better team than last year, and we added some guys in the bullpen, added some bats, some gloves. So I think we'll be in a good position, but we can't think ahead too much. We got to play the game on Monday and get back to Philly, where we like to play, and I know they're going to be very excited for it.
All right, thanks, Zack. We'll see you back in
Thanks,
Philadelphia.
guys.